Pickaxe.
Guys, did you see that there's been another Willy Wonka?
Oh, not another
Did you see
one.
there's been 2 Willy Wankers? I got really confused.
I didn't know about the other Willy Wonka. How many Willy Wonkers could there possibly be?
I saw one, and then I saw a story the next day, which I assume was the same thing, and I was like, hang on, that's not the same franchise as the one I saw yesterday. Which one do you know about?
I know about the Pokemon-flavoured Wanker.
Right. Yeah. Well, there was also a Lego Wanker, which I saw first.
Really?
Yeah. Just a big empty conference hall with like a couple of, I think there were some little rides in there, like supermarket rides, and that kind of thing.
Like you put in a coin.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh no.
It might not have been right. I have to Google it now. That might not be true, but yeah. And then the next day I saw Pokemon. I was really thrown off.
Oh, well, I can tell you about the Pokemon one.
Okay.
Because I did read through the thread. There's a big old thread that went viral on Twitter. When was that? Yesterday at the time of recording, so the 4th of June, this week, if you're listening at the time of release. Mm-hmm. And it was a Pokemon event in the Philippines. I don't have the thread in front of me, so I'm not sure who tweeted it, who the author is. But apparently they won a competition to go to this Philippines Pokemon event. All sorts of red flags ahead of time, including the fact that it was listed as a Pokemon convention. It's a three-day convention.
Ooh.
Oh.
For fans by fans, and their description in their bio apparently was pretty much copied wholesale from another Philippines-based Pokemon fan organization that had also run a very successful convention.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that was a little bit of a warning of things to come. They advertised all sorts of stuff like art classes, a bakery, like a Pokemon-themed bakery session, stuff like that. People showed up. They handed out loads of like wristbands, and no one knew what was going on. So by the time the second day rolled around, they just stamped people's hands with stars. The advertised bakery session wasn't a bakery session at all, but actually a promotional event where there was a business selling stuff.
Right.
The art class wasn't an art class. It was actually 2 artists who were taking commissions, and that was it. There was also a big empty space that was very confusingly laid out. It was backed by I think a Saudi-based NFT.
Oh, great!
God,
that's a great combination of words. I love it.
and also a company that manufactured sort of Chinese zodiac star sign themed knickknacks.
Right,
and those two
okay.
had big presences at the show, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, though, the main stage was actually pretty good. They advertised and followed through on the fact that Jason Page, the singer of the Pokemon theme song, and the whatever the production company is called, 4Kids, I think it is, like the Western voice of Ash, maybe the previous voice of Ash, would be there for a Q&A, and apparently those were really well done. So maybe not quite on the same level as the original Willy Wonka, but certainly a bit of a fiasco.
Well, let me show you a picture from the Lego Willy Wonka.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of barriers.
I got,
Hang on,
yeah,
that's
even
not the-
better.
No, that's not the one I wanted. You might have it, Mikey. Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of warehouse.
Still not the one. This article's really messing me about. I keep trying to like copy images, and it's like not really doing it. Hang on.
think,
There's
like,
one
kids-
of just a really sad like Lego ball pool sitting.
Ball pool? Excuse me?
Well,
Not ball
it's
pit
a
with
brick, a
Lego.
brick pool is what it is. There it is. Look at
God.
that.
Jump in it and break your back. This was something that was a parallel was drawn with the Pokemon, the sad Pokemon convention as well, in that it harkens back to, what was it? Was it called DashCon? I feel like you've covered
yeah.
this before,
Yeah,
Mikey.
yeah.
The furry convention, or the
Tumblr convention,
like a brony
wasn't it?
convention or something.
Yeah, I think it was a Tumblr convention that got overrun by the lesser types of people and bronies, and everyone just started peeing and pooing everywhere pretty much.
Yes. And they just had like a single ball pit in the middle of this massive room. On day 2, I think, of the Pokemon convention, they brought out like 3 small inflatable climbing frame things. And that was the entertainment for the day.
The rides that I thought there were at the Lego one aren't rides. It's just there was a series of obviously Lego statues of things. So just stuff that you have to go and look at and not touch. It was at the NEC. It And it was just
really.
a
I
big-
thought I recognized. I mean, I know they all look the same, but I thought I recognized
that floor.
An event advertised as the UK's biggest Lego festival has been called a complete rip-off by attendees who described it as a half-empty room with piles of bricks.
Oh, man.
I think like anyone organising an event should know at this point, if you're resorting to having to put a ball pit in your event, you're not doing good and you need to rethink, because that ball pit is always a harbinger of doom.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Peter and I managed to build a similarly spectacular convention space in Minecraft in just 2 hours.
Yeah, which
so
is
if
probably,
we could do it...
That's about the time that I think Willy Wonka put into his event in Glasgow. About 2 hours.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
What it does, though, is beg the question of, A, what's next? What fucked up convention is going to disappoint people next? And B, what do we think we could get away with if we threw a bad convention?
VidCon.
VidCon. Sounds like a COVID. It sounds like a COVID.
Well, VidCon's a real thing.
Well, yeah, it is.
But yeah, Vidiots gone. PodCon.
PodCon.
Coniots.
Coniots. Yeah, that's a good name. Yeah, it's really builds trust.
Yeah.
Coniots.
It said right there in the sign what we were doing.
You can't come into Coniots and then complain that it's a con. We did make it very clear. Maybe you could meet and greet a real life walrus that just looks really sad. It's like chained to the floor, looks really malnourished. Yeah. In a ball pit, yeah. With no balls. It's just an empty pit with a walrus.
We could give away, like when people come in, we could give them a little pink ball called a Bally Rail Walrus. That's their fun little take-home event item for the trip.
Yeah.
Maybe VIP pass holders, it's advertised that they get a free hot meal. And what we do is just hand out a single hash brown.
Yeah. Warm-ish.
Warm-ish. Like it had been cooked at some point.
Yeah. And then there can be, much like the Pokemon experience where you advertise one thing and it's not what it turns out to be, we can say that there is like a Saturday treat day experience where you arrive and all of the food is laid out from Brian's treat day, but then it's just the three of us eating it and no one else gets to have any.
We could also have just in a room or an area entirely on its own. We advertise it ahead of time as the Billy Ray Walrus room. Like come to the Billy experience. Come see the being himself, and it's just a single glass cabinet in the middle of a cavernous room with Billy in it, and that's it.
Bulletproof glass.
That's what you come for.
Yeah, the whole NEC we place right in the center of the main convention hall. Just a cabinet with Billy in.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be quite. If we actually want to do something nice for the convention, I think it'd be nice to set up like a fake Vidiots room with a couch, and for £5 you get the chance of going on the couch and opening a random piece of tat.
Everybody has to bring tat with them.
Yeah, add it to the tat pile.
We can send everyone home though with a copy of Hannah Montana the movie, the game, because
God, we realistically we could. This probably, I don't know if they just threw them away or if it went to the basement at Yogscast headquarters, because some of our stuff is definitely in the basement, I think.
Oh, yeah. Ben. I think a lot of the games got took to CEX one day.
Yeah, I think they did.
Really?
Yeah, we did it not long after you guys moved back, I think.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a CEX somewhere with 50 copies of Hannah Montana.
Because I think, and I'm sure you do as well, Peter, that we've received a lot of amazingly generous video games from even more amazingly generous people while we've been at Triple Jump. Mm-hmm. And some of them are duplicates that are just taking up space. Yeah. And we do need to get rid of them. And CEX is the obvious choice because then we get a little bit more money back that we can reinvest into other bad games that we don't have. Mm-hmm. But the prospect of walking into CEX with like 30 PS2 games that are worth 6p each, I really just don't want to put that on someone.
While the person scans each one, checks the case, checks the disc, and it just and when I did it for that video stuff, it did I don't know, it was embarrassing to say the least.
I didn't realize you actually had to do it yourself.
I think we split out a lot of the stuff, and we all took like stuff that like was interested us or whatnot, and so there was a lot of stuff left over. And I think I was down the basement. It was like, should we just get rid of this? Yeah, I took it to CX. I think it was like £7-8 we got for like 50 PS2 games.
Yeah, because Sips found the box of Hannah Montana games before they were gotten rid of, didn't he? And he posted a photo saying like, what unhinged box is this? And it was just full of Hannah Montana. And it did Sips numbers on social media, and we were like, that we've been here all along.
This is what we were doing for an entire year. Thank you for not Sips specifically, obviously, but
because we never, unfortunately,
clearly there's a market for this kind of nonsense, and we were not introduced to that market.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, what we're gonna have to do is assign every single member of Triple Jump like 20 games and send them to a different CEX across town. And that way we can limit our embarrassment.
By spreading it with everyone else. Sorry, and also please, all the money, please send it back to us after you've sent in all the games on our behalf.
Yes, you could.
Yeah,
that'd be great. So we're thinking Podiots. We're thinking the NEC as well. If what was this called? Brickfest Live?
Is what I think. Yeah.
That's what I can see. So we're thinking NEC. How much do you reckon we could charge for regular tickets, and how much do you think we could charge for VIP tickets? And also, third question.
Yeah.
How many days is this event?
It's got to be a con, so we have to charge.
So it doesn't matter how long
it doesn't. It's not. It might not even take place when people arrive. So, but we have to charge a lot of money, I think, because that's how you hit the headlines as well. Much like the Glasgow Willy Man.
Sorry,
the Glasgow Willy Man, Willy Wonka.
Is he related to the Hat Man?
Yeah, he might be. I don't know, 80 quid a ticket, maybe.
Yeah.
80 quid. What, for the whole weekend?
Yeah, well, that's what we're advertising anyway. You might not get the whole weekend out of it, but
and we'll leave all the leftovers out from the Brian Butterfield buffet out the entire weekend. Still, no one's allowed to touch it. The buffet field, and then Sunday it's all sad and soppy, and it fills the NEC with a lovely smell, and that's where it's time to leave. Got it all planned out.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. The higher we charge, I think respectfully afterwards we can go to any parents who are upset, like, what were you expecting?
Yeah.
How are you still making this mistake?
Yeah.
Fell right into our web, you fools.
And it's also your fault that you didn't tell your friends, because if you had done, we'd have been able to put on a bigger show. So
it's very different. Yeah. As the monumental thread that documents the Philippines Pokemon event correctly stated, if an event says by the fans for the fans, you shouldn't go to it.
Yeah.
Because anyone who's running a convention needs to have experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Makes for a good Twitter thread though, so
keep them coming.
Yourself out, I suppose.
It's kind of like, maybe it's like, do you think there's anyone out there who's like had an event and they've been planning it, it's not been going well, and they think, well, it might not be a good event, but we could hit Wonka level of fame if we just kind of really lean into it and use it as a marketing strategy of like, but there's got to be a little bit of a tickle there. Because when you look at the NEC filled like Brickfest, you just got to know that you're now one of the Wonkers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they sort of realized they thought it's not going well, but then they just intentionally nosedive it into the ground once they realize it's.
You don't want to adopt the wanker approach in the sense that a single person can be pointed out as the perpetrator.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be clever about it. You want it to be a sort of company. You respond to complaints with like vague apologies and sign it with pseudonyms, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to get in too much trouble.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it sounds like we've got it in the bag, and we'll be in the headlines before long. Might even cover it. We might have to cover it on Podiots. If it's the biggest story of the fortnight. It'll be submitted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well then, shall we go? And wow, words are coming thick and fast, and here they are coming. Shall we go and shall we do
you want to?
Shall we continue with the show?
Good.
Got there. Thank you,
Kevin. Kevin needs to do the music.
Kevin, please.
everybody, and welcome to Podiots, the official Vidiots podcast. It's a conversational podcast where we take some questions from you at home and obey the law of the three Rs, where everybody brings a thing
along to talk about.
I'm Ben.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Michael.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello, chum.
How are we doing, boys?
Pretty well. Pretty good. Pretty great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Should we do a weather update? It feels like we haven't done one yet.
It was warm and sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, well, sometimes it rains really hard for a bit and then it gets sunny again and not as warm.
Yeah.
That's my summary.
Yeah, it's mostly miserable with tickles of joy. Is the weather update at the
Tickles
minute.
of joy.
Just tickles of joy.
It's nice. Sounds like a Phil Collins album. I was taking Pippa for a walk, by which I mean Pippa was walking me around the garden in her lead.
Oh.
And it started to rain, and she ran for cover under a pile of pallets, and I couldn't get her back out because she was like, absolutely not, it's raining. What is this for a start?
Yeah.
I'm an indoor cat. And so I put the lead down on the floor, trusting that she wouldn't sprint away, which she doesn't. She usually behaves herself. And I opened the back door, and then I called her over, and she just ran into the house the fastest I've ever seen her move, which is pretty fucking quick. And then it was sunny again.
And then she learned to never leave the house again.
Yeah, scarred.
Oh, well, you see, whenever any window is open, she's going to get out.
Ooh.
Man.
She craves the freedom.
But not the rain.
Not the rain.
If you want your freedom, you got to take what comes with it, Pippa. I'm sorry. We have to suffer the rain. So do you.
Precisely. We do have some exciting plans, though, albeit in a couple of months' time. Isn't that right, Michael Johnson?
You're done tooting for episode 150 of Podiots. We're going to be having a little get-together in the flesh. Ooh. And recording a special podcast episode together, finally at last. Yeah, as we do, we like to create special episodes for our landmarks. Was episode 69 a landmark one, or did we just skip that one? We skipped that one.
We did that very quickly because we didn't think we could do it justice, so we skipped over it. And then as part of episode 100, I want to say, someone asked, like, will you ever do episode 69? And we did a really quick little episode.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We did do that.
Yeah.
Well, this time we're confident we can create the product you deserve, and so 150 will be fully recorded and broadcast sometime in August. Yay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we may end up doing what we did for episode 100, if you guys remember that, in that we may be ahead of schedule by the time episode 150 rolls around. So we might have to skip over it to episode 151 or 152, and then record episode 150 when we're all together, and then release it. We'll explain it close to the time, but it'll make sense. It'll be worth the wait. Promise you.
Yeah.
However, segue. Podiots.com is where you go if you would like to support what we do here financially. You're obviously already supporting what we do by listening, and that's very much appreciated. But if you want to go one step further and you have a little bit of money to throw our way, then go to Podiots.com. If you donate £3 or more there, you'll get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the next episode of Podiots. You'll join Pod Squad, and you'll support us in everything that we do here. Do you like the podcast? Have you been listening for years? Do you have £3 spare? Maybe consider passing it on to us. Make your name very silly. Have a little birthday shout out for yourself or a loved one. Podiots.com. Mikey, can you kick us off, please?
I'd be delighted to. And we begin with the generous Caroline. It's Dr. Chegwin. Oh no, give me the news. They say, Caroline, I left you a message over a month ago explaining that your husband Barry was experiencing a mental health breakdown. The bizarre messages he is leaving are a worrying sign. Please call me back if you've seen him, as he left the hospital before being cleared. Please, Barry, come back. Dr. Chegwin needs you. And Caroline needs you.
Follow-up from the slightly disturbing one we got last time.
Yeah,
I think
there was a really strange one last time, wasn't there?
Well, don't worry. I think immediately after that, everything was all right because the next name is Caroline. I booked Pontins.
Oh, hell yes.
I hope he
You're
asked
going to have a
Caroline if she
dreadful
wants
time.
to go to Pontins, or is he just assumed?
Booked it.
Well, maybe Caroline loved, maybe this was the place where their relationship was formed.
Yeah, you'll have a romantic retreat back to Pontins.
He's just going to wait at Pontins for her to return. It's like he's going to be the man who can't be moved by the script, and he'll be at Pontins until they're back together. He'll stand in the rain. He'll wait for Caroline till the
I'll be next
end.
to the 2p machine.
Yeah.
We continue with Donak07, Steven Skores, Frogley, Harry. Harry Brodvich in Oslo. Look at you.
Gets around, that guy.
Nice.
Is it hair?
Hair?
Probably. But that's not
Mister?
German. That's
Is it not?
No.
Oh,
Swedish?
It's Oslan.
Oslo.
That's what they speak in the city.
Herr
of Oslo.
Brodvich in Oslo. That's a terrible. That just was a slurry of words wherever you are in the world. Thank you.
Slurry.
A swinging hotel experience, Freddie Weber's pube dreads, and Seagull Boy is back.
Is he? Perhaps we'll hear more later.
Blimey.
We've also got DBP's Nuts,
Excellent.
Torso Evans, Pizzeria, spelled as diarrhea, just to be clear. Pizzeria. Prince Beefcakes, All Inclusive Triple Hump, Sonic the Chegg Hog, very good. Gay Frankincense Ant, Mr. Macca, and Anonymous.
And finally, we have Ben Pottery Shopping Centre, the Chegg Winfinity Gauntlet. There's some really good ones this
is
week, guys.
a great fortnight for it, yeah.
Cat Dealey doing wheelies, Noel's house arrest, Chegma, is it gay to eat vegan sausage? She make my Tibetan mastiff, Chuckle Bros glory hole, and Dave Wilson's filled it.
Oh, God,
Goodness
that's
me.
amazing.
Some really great ones in there. Thank you very much, Pod Squad. Thank you to the very generous Caroline. It's Dr. Chegwin as well. Didn't get a chance to thank you up there for your generous gift. Amazing. Podiots.com, £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the next episode of Podiots and join Pod Squad. Guys, which one is your favourite?
Don't make me choose. I do like Ben Pottery Shopping Centre, but I'm sure we've had that before.
That tickled me.
I haven't. I don't think I've heard that one before.
Maybe not. It's good. The Ben Pottery Shopping Centre. Yeah, maybe that one then. If it's not new, if it is new.
I like the simplicity of Chegma.
Yeah.
Oh God. There's some phenomenal Chegg ones this week.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with my heart, and almost certainly we've had this one before, but DBP's Nuts is my choice. Also, happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Michael Johnson, I believe you are in charge of things and listener-submitted things this week.
You're done, Tootin, and I'm going to throw it right back towards you, Ben. Could we have your viewer-submitted article, please, to kick us off?
Absolutely. This comes courtesy of Connor Bennett at cbennett_12 on Twitter /Keith. And this is from the Irish News. Written by Paul Ainsworth. There we are. That was hard to find.
Okay.
Rescue operation sees kid goat brought down from 100-foot tower ruin.
Oh my God.
100 foot.
Do you want to see the kid?
Yeah.
This is a far away
baby
photo of the kid. This is it on top of the tower.
There it is. Up the tower.
Really high up.
That's
Dark
very
Souls boss.
high.
Oh, this is an even better photo. Hang on. This is a front-facing view of the goat. Now, we know goats are very good at climbing. I don't know how it got up there, though.
Oh, the goat's face says it all. Oh, no.
Really
It's
good,
like
isn't it?
even the goat doesn't know how it got up there, I think, looking at that face.
A wandering goat has been brought back down to earth after scaling a 100-foot tower at a ruined castle in County Donegal. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Donegal? That feels
Donegal,
right.
yeah.
Visitors to Northborough Castle in the Ballyboes area of Inishowen. They're really just punishing me now, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
In the Ballyboes area of Inishowen Peninsula, spotted the errant kid goat atop the tower on Monday and soon realised that despite having clambered up the ruin by itself, it was unable to make the descent back down. Pictures taken at the scene show the goat looking down from what remains of a wall of the 14th century hold, which is known locally as Greencastle.
Oh.
It was determined that the kid had been on top of the ruin for up to 3 days. Lots of vegetation up there, though, so,
He's been all right.
not too bad. Concerned visitors alerted the Irish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, ISPCA, after trying and failing to coax it back down. What were you doing to coax it back down?
Standing at the
All it could do
bottom.
is jump.
God.
A rescue operation swung into action to retrieve the adventurous kid from the castle, which was once the stronghold of 14th century noble and Earl of Ulster, Richard, that's all I'll say, from where he controlled the expanse of another noun. How do you feel about that one?
Loch Foyle? Is that the Irish spelling of loch? Like in Scotland?
You've seen how Aoife is spelled.
Well, I know. Yeah.
So who's to say? An ISPCA spokesperson said its superintendent inspector, Kevin McGinley, strapped on climbing equipment and scaled the ruin himself in order to reach the goat and carry it back down to the loch shore on which the castle stands. On getting Ivy down to ground level and to safety, it became clear that the goat had a leg injury. Is Ivy the name of the goat? I don't know.
I guess so.
The spokesperson
Good name
said
for something that climbs. Ivy. I like that.
Yeah.
she was transported to a nearby veterinary practice for an assessment of her injuries and was subsequently treated for a fractured leg.
Oh.
Oh.
They added that Ivy was later taken to the ISPCA's Animal Rehabilitation Centre near the village of Ramelton. She will be on restricted mobility rest for the next 6 weeks until her leg is healed and the cast has been removed, the spokesperson said.
And then she'll be right back up the tower.
Yeah, right back up there. Although she was a little stunned and underweight following her dramatic rescue, she was eating well and is expected to make a full recovery. The ISPCA is currently investigating how the goat managed to reach the tower top and is also appealing for anyone willing to give Ivy a permanent home upon her recovery to contact them.
I like how we're kind of broadening our horizons here. We've done birds in supermarkets and airports at least 3 times. Now there's a goat stuck up a tower. You know, it's kind of adjacent to it. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
Animals where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do here. Northborough Castle, which was once captured by the brother of Scottish King Robert the Bruce, a real claim to fame there,
Whoa.
was eventually abandoned to ruin in the early 18th century. It is linked to the famous skeleton on the Derry coat of arms, which represents a cousin of Richard last name's grandson, who was reportedly starved to death in the castle's dungeon.
Cute.
There we are. So that's the story. Ivy the goat is okay.
Good. Glad to hear
She's
it.
fine.
I want to see
And
that.
if you want to adopt Ivy, this news story is from the 4th of June, so they may still be appealing for somewhere for her to stay,
Yeah.
if you're in Ireland.
Just make sure you don't have any big towers in your back garden for it to get stuck up, and you should be all right.
Yeah.
Can't believe the dude abseiled down the side of a building with a goat in hand.
With a goat, yeah.
Skills.
What a
Impressive.
hero. The ISPCA doesn't muck about.
No.
Yeah, we need to get them in Bedminster to capture these birds. Are you on it?
They do. They kick in with SWAT gear.
Yeah. He's
Rappel
climbing
through
up
the
into the
ceiling.
rafters with a net.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking over to you, Peter.
Yeah.
Could we have your own thing?
Well, yes, you can. I would like to remind you all that Saturday is treat day. And I'm going to tell you now all about BonBon Land. This is a Wikipedia, partially, but I have gone elsewhere for some additional information. But here we go. According to Wikipedia, BonBon Land is a Danish amusement park located in Home Olstrup in the south of Zealand, approximately 100 kilometers away from Copenhagen. This 34-acre park attracts about 450,000 people each season. Please do not yet start searching the internet for images of BonBon Land.
Okay.
I can send you the logo to BonBon Land if you'd like to see it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
very
please.
small. But until then, you will get nothing. Oh, the duck has gone all weird looking because of the transparency.
Oh no, it's got black, soulless eyes.
Some of the white stuff has gone grey.
Like stoned or something. It's weird.
Interesting. Anyway, I'll tell you more about BonBon Land. BonBon Land theme park dates back to Danish sweets boiler Michael Spangsberg. That's his job, apparently. He's a Danish sweets boiler.
He's not Michael BonBon Land.
No, apparently not. He began producing candies with names that children would find humorous, like, and then there's some Danish here that I'm not going to try and read, but basically some of his famous sweets translated to seagull droppings, dog farts, and pea diapers. Although I think, according to my other source, there was also one called large boobs. Yeah, there was.
Amazing.
Large boobs, earwax. So there you go. Those are some of the things he made.
Does it say the name of them in his native tongue?
It does. So seagull droppings is something like magerklatter.
Good.
Dog farts
I love the Dutch language.
Yeah. Dog farts is hunderprutter. And pea diapers is tissybleer.
Ooh. What's the boob one?
I don't know, because that's from a different web page that
what
does
was it
not
called
have,
again? I'll have a look for you.
large boobs.
Okay.
Just go Google search large boobs, Ben.
So yeah, just search
work
Google
time
for
again.
large boobs.
Hang on, let me just ruin my algorithm.
Large boobs, Danish.
Danish. Okay, here we go. That, of course, is Storbreister.
Oh, Dorbreister, sure.
Oh, Storbruster, or something like that.
Click on the pronunciation thing. It told you.
I did, yeah,
There you go.
I did.
The candies became popular early on, and children, it says early on, but it doesn't say when that was. We have no year here. This is a good article. But early on, they became popular, and children wanted to visit the factory in Holm Olstrup, a small Danish town in the countryside. However, the factory could not offer visiting tours due to strict hygiene regulations. And this is when Michael Spangsberg opened the BonBon Land theme park.
Yeah.
In 1992, we finally have some time context here, the theme park opened with a mini candy factory, a cinema, a shop, and 4 small boats shaped like ducks located on a small pond. That was the theme park. The park was successful, and many rides and attractions have been added over the years. BonBon Land is one of Denmark's most visited children's parks, despite its adult-oriented content and toilet humour. Now I thought, that's so Vidiots. That's so Podiots. It's very much not for children, and yet it pretty much stands up on toilet humour. So I had to bring it along.
Absolutely.
Apparently in 2008, this was the 8th most popular tourist attraction in all of Denmark. And in 2007, the Spanish-based entertainment company Parks Reunidos purchased the park.
Oh wait, sorry. So it was in Denmark, not Netherlands?
No, Denmark.
Why did I think he was Dutch? Was he Dutch?
I don't know. Yeah, but it's in Denmark.
I just completely confused that? Okay, well, I'm going to need to check on large boobs again.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta get it right.
I've got to Google large boobs again. Bear with me.
Okay. Large boobs.
Right. So it's Danish.
Yeah.
Large boobs.
Oh, wait.
Oh no! You know what? For some reason I thought he was Dutch, but I changed it to Danish anyway. So it is It is what I said before.
Okay.
I've confused myself massively. Please ignore me.
All right. That's fine. Since its founding, BonBon Land has aimed to offer activities for people of all ages. Today, BonBon Land has over 60 different attractions. Among the rides in the park, there are 4 roller coasters and 2 water rides. But besides the rides, there are also various playgrounds and a pirate track, whatever that means.
Pirate track.
In 1998, it covered an area of 85,000 meters squared. Wait, what? Yeah, that's true. 21 acres. It's confusing because they've put decimal points in, but because it's clearly written by a European, they put a dot instead of a comma, I think, when they're doing their like thousands and stuff. But anyway, it eventually became it went to 27 acres in 1998, and then 32 acres when the new Wildsvinet ride was added in 2003. So that is some background. But really, the reason I discovered this in the first place was not because it's called BonBon Land. That was a happy accident. It was about one specific ride, really. But we move now over to atlasobscura.com, which gives us a more detailed write-up of some of the things you can find here. The park originally, as we know, offered simple duck boat rides in a pond, as well as a movie theatre and a small candy factory.
Swan rides.
Swan ride, indeed. But BonBon Land quickly exploded into a massive 32-acre carnival of farting, defecating, and urinating character sculptures, many of whom are exposing large breasts with erect nipples.
Wow.
How can this be a family-friendly theme park? The article asks.
How have we never heard of this before? Wow.
I don't know.
It's a failing on all of our Danish contingent of supporters.
It is.
To not let us know about BonBon Land.
The answer to the question, how can this be a family-friendly theme park, is because the Danish totally get it. Immature people of all ages want to goof off in a land filled with dirty cartoon animals and amplified fart sounds, and rightly so. Displayed across the grounds, you'll find a sewer rat who seems to be projectile vomiting urine, seagulls defecating into an alligator's mouth, and voluptuous bovine breasts aplenty. Besides all of the animals that are excreting fluids and bearing their ample bosoms, you'll discover that most of the characters are either drunk or sick. Many of the animals resemble Disney characters with a twisted dose of perversion. The park offers age-appropriate attractions as long as the whole family is keen on potty humour. Gentle rides for the young ones, and 18-plus coasters featuring even more vulgar displays of animal exhibitionism and muck-flinging.
Oh dear! It's something weird about the fact they've arranged statues of animals having sex. That's weird.
Yeah. I'm now going to tell you about the main attraction that brought this park to my attention. And once I've told you about that, you are free to go looking for the multitude of images available online.
I'm going to type it just so I'm ready.
Located dead center in the park is the Hunderprutter Usterbana, the dog fart switchback. Although not the most high-powered roller coaster, it's by far the most popular. Riders soar and glide over mounds of dog excrement while amplified fart sounds boom from a giant humiliated dog lifting his leg.
Humiliated. The dog it's not a willing participant in this carnival.
He actually looks terrified about his lack of control. Henry the farting dog is also the mascot of the park, as you will find countless souvenirs of his likeness in the park's gift shop. Paradise is apparently the name of the gift shop. I'll switch back to Wikipedia for a moment here because I just love the way that they've written it up in a really dry format. So that previous bit about the ride was from Atlas Obscura, but this just in quite a straight manner says, the coaster trains are designed in the shape of a dachshund named Henry. Riders go past a statue of Henry defecating, and there's a citation, through a kennel, and there's another citation, and past bones and piles of feces, citation. There are also speakers throughout the ride, which make farting sounds, as well as barks. So you are welcome to look up the cows with their boobs out are I think the most shocking thing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I can show you the dog.
The cow boobs are really something. God, we've got a lot to get through here. This is
the dog does.
I am looking for cow boobs. I don't see cow boobs. I'm using Edge. Forgive me.
I'm dropping in some cow boobs.
Yeah, those are the cow boobs.
Holy shit.
Those are milkers. My God.
I know.
Fucking hell. God, he does look terrified.
Yeah. There's just a weird sort of sticker pasted onto one of the toilets, like the gents' toilets. It looks like an ant who is pissing out of his arse. He's doing a bum piss.
He
what is that?
I don't think we can post many of these things to the feed.
Well, yeah, probably not. It was certainly not the cow boobs. Actually, we'll have to at least censor it. Of course, if you are not, if you're listening on audio form right now, this podcast is available in video form, where we will show some of the images we're talking about, but we also post them to Twitter, which you can find embedded on our website. But Google is your friend. If you want to see some of the wonderful sights of BonBon Land, just head to the internet, maybe incognito, and search for, cow boobs, BonBon Land.
Why not?
Yeah. So when you said that there was merch with Henry the Farting Dog,
yeah,
I searched for it on eBay and I couldn't find anything. There's a couple of books, one called Walter the Farting Dog. We may want to put a pin in that and come back to that in a future episode.
Mikey's
that
found
exists.
the furries. Okay, Walter the Farting Dog.
However, when I searched BonBon Land, the only thing I found is amusement park Candyland folding brochure 2002. And it is a BonBon Land 2002 brochure that someone wants £7.66 for.
Oh, wow.
They're in Germany. There is an English part of it. Looking at the photos, there's nothing graphic
that's
in
a shame.
any of the images. Lots of kids having a great time. However, this is the sort of welcoming page written by Michael Spansberg. Is that the guy that you mentioned earlier?
I don't think. It may have been. Yes. Yeah, Spangsberg. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, so he's written the headline is "Here you can reach the stars." Underneath it says, "Always keep your promises. Every year I buzz around the globe looking for crazy new amusements for a BonBon Land. So this year I promised my three kids that this year's big surprise would be an amusement that would give the whole family one really great fun experience. So above the dock pond, in our 110,000 square meter amusement park, you will also find," and then it says in all caps, "the wet fish."
Oh, no.
What is the wet fish?
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you about some of the other ride names. I don't know what the rides are like, but back to the Atlas Obscura now, it says other attractions at the park have irresistible names as well, such as the Stud, Dunce Cap, Seagull Blobs, Fold Cod, whatever that means. That's pretty scary. Horses Bulbs, the Horse Dropping, and the Crazy Turtle. Oh, also Skidmark is one.
Skidmark's there.
Yeah. Also located within the park is Fantasy World, a walk-through indoor playground, which, according to BonBon Land's website, houses Denmark's largest collection of mechanical pixies. Only Denmark's largest collection of mechanical pixies, though.
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I've got for you. But yeah, there are two separate Wikipedia articles, one for BonBon Land and one for Hunderprutterruchterbahn, which is the dog fart roller coaster.
It's like, I'd say mostly it's inoffensive, but it is just the cow with boobs that really does it. Like a little bit of pee, a little bit of farts.
It's pornographic, isn't it? The fact that the nipples are just like all the way out, and she's wearing a dress as well, which is it's not even that she's just being a cow and not wearing any clothes. She's wearing a dress and she's sort of fondling herself.
Yeah, she is. She's like enjoying it too much. There is actually a bit I've just realized in the article for the ride, the Wikipedia article, reviews and press attention. It says that the ride is included in the Mental Floss article, 8 theme park rides I wouldn't wait in line for. The coaster has also been described by a number of other sources, including USA Today, Cracked, and The Chive. And it says, Rob Alvey with the Travel Channel described Hunderprutterruchterbahn as having the most pure wackiness of any roller coaster, and Willy Volk with Gadling, if I'm saying that right, said that the coaster gives new meaning to the phrase "the wind in my face."
Very good.
Very good.
It's amazing.
So this is I was going to say. Oh, Mike,
Sorry,
please, I'm
after
so
you,
sorry.
Peter. No,
So rude.
You go first.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was just going to say this is a failing on our Danish listeners. You guys are absolutely right. Why have we not been told about this before? You go ahead.
Travesty.
Mike.
I was going to say,
Is it still open?
I think so. Actually, everything seems to indicate it.
Yeah, the website's still live.
Still buy tickets.
Do you guys want to? Do you? Should we?
How? Wait, how much is it? Less than the cost of a Podiots tickets?
How much is? Hang on, let me. Apparently, there's a whole week in June where they've just said, nah, no one's coming.
Oh, well, it says on Wikipedia that their operating season is from the 1st of April to the 24th of October.
Oh, so what date are you coming to visit again, Mikey? In August?
Let's do August 8th. Let's say. Have we got anything free around then? They got any tickets?
Which day?
The Thursday, August 8th.
August the 8th. They do on August the 8th. Yes, so we could all fly out on August the 8th, buy tickets. Let's see. Right. I'm going to need someone to convert this because it's in, I assume, Krona? KR?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm ready to convert.
Okay, how much is 299 krona, please?
299?
Yes.
That's £34. That's all right. I can do that.
For the cow with boobs, I would do it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
AR, did you say, or DR?
KR.
Oh, KR, right. I was going to say, because AR is the South African rand, and that's only £12.30.
There's definitely a scam going on if they're only taking the South African rand.
Operating in rand, that might be suspicious. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Water slides, by the looks of it.
Just looking through this.
Hey, whoever's closest that's listening to this, you're going to need to take a day trip and tell us all about it, please.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
haven't
been already.
Send the full story to our Instagram or something, and it'll filter back to us.
Yeah. If it is the homeland of John Willie Man, is now also the home of the Dog Fart Park. So please.
Yeah.
Some Trevor Explorer. Go take
Why
a
couldn't we have
been
dog. That time that Merlin Entertainment, took us down to wherever it was, not Milton Keynes, somewhere else. But why couldn't we be flown out to BonBon Land instead? To talk about that. Well, we are talking about it on Podiots. Maybe soon the person who runs the PR will have a dream about going to BonBon Land with me, and then we'll be invited.
We have to manifest it.
Yeah, we do. Well, that's it. Dog fart roller coaster. How have we not talked about this many times? I don't know.
Incredible.
Thank you very much, Peter, for bringing that to our attention. We'll get a Europe tour on the cards. We'll go between that and the Feldhughes Meat Facery.
Yeah.
We'll live all of our European dreams. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue on to my viewer-submitted article.
Yes.
This one comes from Jules at KerplunkCheek on Twitter. And it's the return of an old favourite. Well, not that old, a fairly recent favourite. Seagull Boy is back in the headlines. And
Not again.
Okay. But this is nice. This is Seagull Boy enjoying the rewards of fame. You know, he's a celebrity now, so he gets taken about to do nice things and honk like a seagull the entire time.
I'm pretty sure we bullied him last time we spoke about him.
Yeah, probably. But
look at him now.
It's because he wasn't that good.
He was kind of crap at it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's just jealous. He's been jet set around. For example, in this BBC News article, which headline reads, Seagull Boy migrates to London for exhibition.
Okay.
When I first read this article, I assumed he was going to be part of an exhibition, maybe.
Did he get stuck in a Morrison's or something?
He decided to really become, hone in his bird training and become really like a bird. And the final stage of that is getting stuck inside of a local supermarket for at least a week, and then he becomes a big bird. But no, this is this is just a tour around a museum that he was treated to. I'm going to send in the article, and there's a little video at the top. Just in case you want to we can play it together. We can refamiliarize ourselves.
Look at him
with how he sounds.
Smug.
There he is. Yeah.
It's a 2-minute video, so we'll watch the first bit until we get some good seagull sounds, and we'll crack on with the article.
Also, bear with me, those who are watching on the video. If you can see me distracted, I'm just trying to post a picture of the cow with boobs on Twitter, but I'm going to censor it.
Are we going to get away with that?
No, I'm going to censor it. So that's what I'm doing. If I look distracted, you have my full attention, but I'm just not looking at my camera.
Oh dear. Shall we quickly play the video and get some seagull sounds, or should we?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm going to click play in 3, 2, 1, go.
He's doing it on the train.
On a public train.
What?
This is
His
the world
dad looks
famous
sick of
Seagull
it.
Boy, and today he's off
not
on an
okay.
adventure.
World famous.
Well,
Stop it.
Cooper
He kind of
found
is. He's
fame
been
after
thrust into
winning
world
a
fame.
European
All right, then it's back to the
championship
European
with his
Championship.
family.
So yeah, Seagull Boy's still at it. He's on trains now, being a nuisance. The article reads, this is from Caroline Lowbridge. A 9-year-old boy who found fame due to his uncanny impression of a seagull received a special invitation to London because of his talent. Ooh. Cooper, from Chesterfield, Derbyshire, won the EC Gull Screeching competition in Belgium in April. News outlets flocked to report on the story, and Cooper did more than 40 interviews with radio stations, TV channels, and newspapers around the world. So, my God, the screech that was heard over 1,000 airwaves.
Yeah, did he just screech into a microphone?
He's not very good at interviewing, so he just does the seagull noises.
Yeah.
The Natural History Museum in London then invited Cooper to a private tour of a new exhibition all about birds before the museum opened to the public. This is nice. This is nice. This is a young boy doing something he loves and being very good at it, you two. And he's making people happy as a result and getting treats. Stop being
It's fucked
mean
up
to
that
the
he's
child.
like peaking now, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Where else do you go? Like,
where do you go from here?
yeah.
Other birds.
He could master other bird calls, but if he goes on to become, like the next Hollywood sensation, they're like, so welcome to the talk show. Thank you very much for joining us. We did a bit of digging into your past. Were you the world famous Seagull Boy?
Yeah.
And he goes, you promised you wouldn't bring this along.
Your researchers
They will have a
been
good
working
chortle
hard.
about it.
Yeah.
That's the only situation I can see this going well. Otherwise, he's a fully grown man who, as a child, was paraded around Europe squeaking. He's not even doing a very good seagull impression. It's crap.
Well, according to the museum, he's doing. They didn't say that they thought it was good, but
What
I think
are
by
they hearing?
virtue of inviting him,
The
they think
bird
Is it just me?
Ben, the bird experts all agree he's good at the impression. It's just you who has a problem with him.
Is it just me?
No, it's me
Am I
too.
the only one who's heard a seagull?
I
I'm
like
on
the
his
second
side.
half of what he does, but the first bit is rubbish.
Oh dear, I'll let you two fight it out. But so it's Cooper, is in a big quote box here. There's a quote from Cooper that just says, "So fluffy." What? Just out of context on its own. It continues. Cooper, whose seagull mimicry began after he was nipped by one on a beach in Devon, told the BBC he enjoyed his avian adventure. And this is a quote from Cooper. I think it's a really, 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 really good 10 out of 10 exhibition because there's so many different birds and their different habitats and what they eat for prey and giant eggs and snakes with eggs inside them and massive birds like the albatross, he said.
Hey, good for him. I'm glad he had a good time.
Yeah. I think So Fluffy is in reference to a stuffed bird that he saw.
Oh, right, okay.
Wow, that
an
is
albatross.
fluffy.
That is quite fluffy, to be fair.
He's got that right.
His favourite exhibit was the albatross, which he liked because they're basically like seagull ancestors, and the babies are so fluffy and they look a bit like a teddy bear. Oh, he deserves this. He's good.
No, he doesn't deserve it.
Oh.
Well, if this has tickled you, the exhibition called Birds, Brilliant and Bizarre is on until 5th of January 2025. It's an association with the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. And said, it's going to be a fun exhibition. Come check it out. And, well, sadly, I don't think Seagull Boy will be there, but maybe he'll get lucky. Maybe he'll be swinging by.
Is he in it? Are they going to put him in a cage?
Oh, I wish.
See the world famous Seagull Boy. Roll up.
Let's see.
The boy,
Make the noise, Seagull Boy.
with the body of a boy and the voice of sometimes a bit sort of like a seagull.
He looks like if a really big bipedal seagull ate a boy feet first
and
the face
changed
was
its
poking
call.
out.
The seagull's possessed by a boy. Freak of nature.
Oh, God. A seagull cursed with the voice of a boy doing a seagull impression.
Doing a bad seagull impression.
Awful.
Wow.
Well, I hope he realizes he's just being used here for PR. They're like,
He's just being used.
how do we promote our new bird exhibition? I know. Let's get that kid who people were talking about 3 weeks ago and invite him round.
Oh,
so,
man.
Enjoy the perks while it lasts. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's a lot for a 9-year-old to grapple with, being a star of Hollywood and then very quickly being set aside to never be used again. It's going to be rough, but I think he's got legs. I think a seagull skills will come in one day and he'll become a national treasure. Like, you have 10 years quieting down, and he saves the day with a seagull sound. And yeah, that's it. He becomes a national hero. I hope.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, Jules, for submitting your thing.
You, Mikey, for reading it.
You're very welcome. And thank you, Cooper, for being yourself.
Yeah.
Ben, would you like to read us your own thing?
I would love to. As spoken about on the last episode of Podiots, I was about to go on holiday to what was potentially a swingers hotel.
Of course, I forgot about this.
Yes, I have been. I have assembled a pros and cons list of my time in beautiful, windy Fuerteventura, or Fortaventura, depending on who you ask. So before I go any further, I do want to state for the record that my girlfriend and I deliberately went to the cheapest, adults-only, all-inclusive we could find within the Canary Islands. We knew that we were probably not going to have a phenomenal experience. However, having said that, I would like to acknowledge ahead of time that for some people, this is a fantastic time, and they love it, and I don't want to take anything away from them. However, I have made some notes about my experience of my interesting few days in Fortaventura at this all-inclusive resort. I've never been to an all-inclusive resort before, and here is my journey.
I thought you were about to say, and never will again.
No, actually coming away from it, the idea of all-inclusive is still very attractive.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
keen to try it.
how it was executed in this particular instance that didn't leave a great lasting impression. So here we go. It started off with a 4.5-hour flight from Newcastle. And on board that flight, there was a medical emergency.
Oh my goodness me.
On the flight. The flight attendants got on the tannoy and said, is there anyone with medical training on board? We are having a medical emergency.
Ooh.
People were milling around in the walkway just because I don't know why. And when we landed on the other side and we were queuing for passport control, and it's really embarrassing because we can't go through the EU bit anymore. We've got to queue up through the slow bit. There was an awful woman behind us who was saying under her breath, but loud enough for everyone else to hear, like, did you see how the flight attendant was flapping when there was that medical emergency? It's like you could tell that she's not had to do that before. She told me to sit down. She told me I couldn't go to the toilet. I was like, what's wrong with you? Someone was having a medical emergency and you were more concerned about going to the toilet. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Good.
Can you imagine being upset that there's a medical emergency and you've been told to sit down?
Yeah.
Awful. Anyway, so she was at the same resort that we were.
Oh, great.
After we landed, there was a 1.5-hour bus ride to the hotel. Again, pretty standard. But the bus looked pretty swish. It had sort of leather seats and stuff, but it had even less legroom than the Ryanair flight that I took out there. No. And I couldn't actually fit my knees into the seat. So I was sort of just straddling the seat in front, and that was good. Fortunately, though, we then arrived and we checked in and we were given our key cards and got into the room. The room smelled of stale cigarette smoke.
Oh, lovely.
And the blankets had actual cigarette burns in them.
Oh.
Right.
There were burned holes in the cigarette in the cigarette blanket. That's what it was.
A lovely beginning of your getaway in the Canaries.
Exactly. At this point, we were knackered because it was, we set off at like 4 a.m. It was a really early flight. We had to get there really early, and then it was a really long journey. And we got there, and we knew that we were going to come away with some stories. But I think at that point, I personally was feeling a little overwhelmed. Like, oh no, this is actually not funny bad. This is genuinely, this is a waste of money, and I'm sad and I'm tired. We were hungry though, so we went and got food shortly after, but we did check out the room, saw the cigarette burns. The double bed was in fact 2 separate, very uncomfortable beds pushed together.
Of course.
The room fridge was hot and it didn't really work. So some bits were kind of cold and the rest was just warm. When schools, right? You remember school?
Yeah.
And those foam tiles that you got in your bedroom. And in your bedroom, that's what we had. Spoiler, the foam tiles that you had on the ceilings, and they sort of like the strip lighting where it wasn't sticking out from the ceiling. It was embedded within the ceiling, and it was just sort of like an opaque square with a light above it.
Yeah.
That's what the room had. But every time you opened the door to the room, the atmospheric pressure change would force the plastic flap housing the light to go up and then slam down.
Oh, God.
So that would just sort of clatter around, which was good. The outdoor furniture, because we had a little bit outside of our hotel room, out the back of it, all had stains on, which was also really nice. But then we went to go and get some food. We're like, well, it's technically lunchtime. They're doing a lunchtime buffet, so we'll go and check that out. It had the grimmest, driest meat imaginable.
Oh, God,
I gave myself a little bit of rice, and I saw what appeared to be tuna, and I served myself some tuna, and it was rubbery and just thoroughly unpleasant. And we were sat there in this room that genuinely the dining hall was... I called it village hall chic. So it really felt like it was a room out of time. The rest of the hotel had been relatively updated, but the bedrooms and definitely the dining room felt like they were, like the early 90s when it was probably built in the first place. I said that it seemed to be tuna because there were very few labels on any of the food. They were either missing entirely or they were in completely the wrong place. You had sort of like 5 dishes and maybe 2 labels if you were lucky, which made it a nightmare if you had dietary requirements.
Yeah, like
my
veganism.
girlfriend who's vegan, who just sort of stuck to rice and chips for the whole holiday. There were also not enough tongs to serve yourself with, so a lot of it was cross-contaminated. People were just using tongs for all the same stuff. If you wanted to drink, which obviously you did because that was part of the all-inclusive, that was part of the appeal, was like the alcohol would carry us through. If you wanted to drink by the pool, you had to have a plastic cup.
Yeah.
And if you wanted a plastic cup, you had to give them a deposit. Just in case you stole the plastic cup, of course.
Wow, okay.
They would give you a glass quite happily, but you weren't allowed near the pool. So you had to give a deposit for the plastic cup, which we eventually did because we didn't have any physical cash with us, which is our fault because we thought all-inclusive, probably not going to need physical cash.
You're not going to pay for the cup? No, the drinks are included, the cups aren't, right?
Drinks are included. No, you got paid for the cup. The drink's fine, though. And they wouldn't take card either to put a deposit down. So you had to give them physical money to get a plastic cup, which was fun. Let's see. Oh yes, one evening when we were dining in the village hall dining room, and I shit you not, back to back, they played Feliz Navidad and Wham's Last Christmas.
Oh, okay.
2 Christmas songs in May. Still don't know why.
Almost as far away from Christmas as you can possibly be.
Yes. What's the name of that Twitter account? Like unaesthetic things or something like that. Mm-hmm. When it's sort of a room feels quite threatening.
Yeah.
Sitting in there eating rubbery tuna while Last Christmas plays.
Oh dear.
In May.
Yeah.
Was a real experience. I can tell you that. We used the pool table that was there. You had to pay for that as well.
Right.
Unfortunately, because I'm crap at pool, as Peter can attest, I potted the white ball almost immediately.
Right.
And the table kept it.
Oh my God.
That's like the one ball that it spits back out. It kept the white ball, So we had to use the black ball as a white ball instead. And then inevitably the black ball was potted as well. So that was the end of that. But in spite of keeping the white ball, it did continue to spit out at least 2 of the red and yellow balls over and over again.
Interesting.
Right.
Don't understand. Again, I think it's just because it's a hotel that was built whenever it was built, and they've not done anything to it since. My final negative point is that there is a spa that's available there, but it was closed the entire time that we were visiting, and you could see through the sort of transparent glass from the outside that there is a pool, but it was completely drained, and every time you walked past, it smelled really strongly of sewage. So
Right. Oh, so was there not an outdoor pool?
there was an outdoor pool, but there was also an indoor pool as part of the spa. And I think at some point we wanted to go and check that out because as lovely and sunny as it was for most of the days, you know, it is May, and the Canary Islands are famous for being very windy. So it was a little chilly when the sun wasn't out. So we were going to go for that.
That's closed for its
so those are my negatives.
Veruca cleaning. Make sure no one gets it. So
yes,
for the
absolutely.
best.
A little pool for your feet. There is actually one final negative that I forgot to write down. Is that not a single person solicited me for swingers action.
Oh, what? What's the point in going?
Well, that's what I thought. That was pretty devastating. Also, a little bit of a confidence blow.
Yeah,
Must be
I
some
think
kind
that
of
there
code.
could be swinging activities on.
You have to walk around humming "Last Christmas" or something.
Yeah, that's the code word. That was the swinger night, and it didn't happen. I do have a small amount of positives.
Okay.
And I will say on the whole that I came away from the experience really enjoying it. However, I did sleep terribly every night because the bed was terrible, and I drank way too much alcohol, and I came back more tired than when I went out. And with 2 mouth ulcers because I was just so run down and tired and exhausted.
full of chips.
Anyway, the positives. The positives from this amazing hotel. When you go to the bar, they would mix the drinks 50-50 alcohol to mixer.
God.
Wow.
Just in front of you.
Jeez.
Holy moly.
Really strong. Great.
Wow.
Loved that.
Love it.
The snack bar that was attached to the bar, which I mentioned last time as having hot dogs, was amazing by virtue of its rubbishness. So they would have like hot dogs, burgers, chips, bread and butter, a little bit of ice cream,
Bread and butter.
and some stale pastries from breakfast, and they would have those out under like the little dodgy heat lamps. And I've got to say, if after you've had a few 50-50 mixer drinks, just smothering chips in ketchup, which was, to be clear, the only way to consume them because the chips were not cooked properly. They were just kind of crap and just not cooked.
Anemic.
Exactly. Covering it in ketchup with a bit of salt, those went down pretty well. And by like literally after our first day of being there, we did not go to the buffet lunch at all. We just filled our boots with crap chips, and that's what we did there. And there was a hotel cat.
Oh, good.
I can send you a photo of the hotel cat.
Yeah.
This cat was seemingly known to staff, was clearly a stray, had big chunks out of its ear, but was really friendly, and would just sort of wander about and came and hung out next to our hotel room a couple of times. I'm going to send you a photo of the hotel cat now. As just as soon, you know what? I'll put it in the WhatsApp group. That's probably easiest for me. Here it comes. I don't know what this cat was called, but it was known to staff because one member of staff addressed it seemingly by name.
Oh, handsome. Fierce.
Oh, nice.
Lovely cat.
Great.
Did you feed him chips and bread?
Didn't feed the cat, no, but
Good.
petted the cat a lot. Friendly cat.
Good.
Nice cat. Disney Channel is what I've written next. Spanish
Nuts.
Disney Channel. D's Nuts Channel. Yeah, no Art Attack this time.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately. But watched a lot of Disney Channel in Spanish. Didn't know what was going on, but that was fun. The Wi-Fi coverage is decent. This sounds like a Google Maps review. So anyway, we went to the hotel, we could get Wi-Fi. That was nice. I played RuneScape in most areas of the hotel.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. And finally, apart from one particular lady who was serving drinks, the rest of the staff were really friendly. But that one lady was really, really not... She didn't want to be there.
Right.
I can't blame her. I didn't really want to be there either.
Did you have any any interesting interactions with other guests? Not in a swinger fashion, but just, the horrible woman from the queue behind you at immigration or...
Honestly, not too much. We observed some stuff by the pool. There was a group of, I say lads, they were clearly in their 40s because they had greying hair, but they were behaving like they were in their early 20s. Just very loutish, throwing each other in the pool, chatting up all the girls. I glanced over at one point and one of them was trying to climb out of the pool via the ladder, and the other one pulled their shorts down so their bum was exposed and just pushed it into the guy's face, and then they both fell in the pool, and that was obviously very funny to them. At which point we thought, you know what? Let's not be here anymore.
Around
I thought for a moment,
screaming gibbons.
as you'd immediately come off chatting up all the girls, I thought you meant one of the girls was getting out and they pulled her shorts down, which that's just actual assault. But no, you mean... Yeah, that was a separate point of them.
That was a separate point.
Ranking each other.
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny. So that was my amazing holiday to Fuerteventura. We did take a little walk to the beach that wasn't too far, and there was a couple of... Seemingly the island is sort of split up between English tourists and German tourists. It's very popular with English people and German people. And the beach was right next to a couple of German resorts. And they were all really nice and really friendly and respectful and behaving themselves. And then we went back to our asylum, and the bums were out, and the drinks were 50-50 mixed. Felice Navidad was on.
Yeah, good.
It was honestly, it was crazy. It was an experience that I will not be in a rush to repeat, but it is one that I am glad that I can come away from with some memories that I will not shake for a while.
Yes. This will help shape every future holiday. How many stars was this hotel?
Well, 4. Which is... I don't know how this is possible.
My dad briefly worked in the hotel industry, and he reminds me frequently that stars simply refers to the number of facilities that a hotel has. It does not actually... Obviously, there tends to be a correlation between, a 5-star hotel, a hotel with lots and lots of facilities, being quite a good quality hotel, but they are not one and the same. So you can have a pool and a spa and everything you like, and you can be a 4 or 5-star hotel because of that. And then you can shit on all the beds, and you will still be a 4-star hotel.
Bums out in the pool.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, that is genuinely helpful information to know, because we surmised as such, because it seemed like every hotel in the area was 4 stars, and they all were so cheap, and ours was so bad.
Certainly what he told me anyway, that it refers to facilities rather than quality.
Each of them are asterisks, referring to a fault with the hotel.
Exactly, yeah.
As Brian would put it. But there we are. That was my amazing holiday with no swinging action at all.
Fantastic. Well, it's everything I hoped it would be.
I've got to ask for my own curiosity, what were the beers they had on draft? Was it Foster's or Carling, or what was it?
All of basically they had a menu with stuff that was part of all-inclusive and stuff that you would have to pay for. They had a lot of branded and named stuff there, but that was all premium. Usually with all-inclusive, and as far as I'm aware, with limited experience, and especially in the case of the one that I've just done, it's local spirits and local alcohol that is free. So you will get lager, but it will be whatever cheap stuff they can get locally, and that'll be free. It will have a name, but you're getting served it in a plastic cup that you've had to pay a deposit for, so fuck knows what it is. In fact, they had dispensers where people could dispense their own beer.
Ooh.
You only had to go up to the bar if the beer machine wasn't working, or if you wanted a spirit with a mixer, or there were a handful of crap cocktails that were part of it, or wine as well. So
Okay. And you came back all in good health?
Largely. I did get sunburned one of the days, and I had my mouth ulcers. But yeah, and I was just really tired. The flight back was brutal. It was delayed. We got back home at like 1 a.m. It was, and it had the worst people in the entire world on the plane.
Yay.
Just obnoxious, standing in the aisle, not really talking to it, just coughing, just big smoker's cough, just over everybody. Awful. Really bad.
I'm glad you had a lovely holiday, Ben.
I had a lovely holiday. Yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Thank you very much for the holiday tales, Ben.
You're welcome.
Peter, would you
Yes.
like to do your viewer-submitted article?
I'd love to. According to you, Mikey, this was sent by B on the Discord. Simply the letter B.
B, yeah.
Yeah. And it's according to metro.co.uk. It's a cracking headline. I might not even read the story because all you need to know is that blind bisexual goose stuck in love triangle with two swans dies aged 40.
What a night.
Oh.
I think I might have heard of this goose. I'm not sure. The fact that it's 40 years old implies this has been a long-running tabloid story that probably crops up every few years. This was written by Tanvir Man. Although I've just noticed it was published February the 8th, 2018 and updated December the 12th, 2019.
Oh, no!
So,
I didn't do my basic research. Oh, well.
well, I forget to check that. I assume in good faith that people are providing recent stuff. But hey, we've not covered it. That's the main reason that rule is in place, so that we don't retread old ground. And I don't think we've done the bisexual goose. So
I don't think so.
I'll read it anyway. A blind bisexual goose who spent years in a love triangle with two swans raising 68 cygnets has died age 40.
Busy boy.
Thomas from Waikanae in New Zealand, if I'm saying that right, fell in love with a black swan named Henry and went on to spend the next 24 years with him.
Aww.
But things got messy when a young female swan called Henrietta swooped in and stole Henry's heart. Thomas quickly
Very
became
creative
the third...
naming, is it? Henry and Henrietta.
Yeah. Thomas quickly became the third wheel, but instead of moving on, he decided to help the new couple raise their 68 cygnets over the next 6 years.
That's a lot of birds.
It is, isn't it? His complicated relationship made him a local celebrity with many birdwatchers spending hours watching his love life unfold. But his happiness came to an end when Henry died in 2009 and Henrietta flew off with another swan, leaving Thomas all alone.
Oh, mate.
Yep.
He helped raise those kids. You're going to leave him?
Yeah, well, Thomas maybe shouldn't have been a two-timer. He wouldn't have been left by Henrietta. I don't know. That's what they say, isn't it? You lose them how you get them, or something like that. He eventually went on to father his own babies, but they were then stolen by another goose called George.
George!
Oh my God, the tragedy of Thomas's life. Here's one of several images of the goose, the swan. No, the goose and the black swan and their cygnets.
Oh!
He's helping to raise. That's nice.
That's lovely.
Good old family.
Yeah. Thomas was then taken to the Wellington Bird Rehab Trust in 2013 as his health deteriorated. That was for nostalgic reasons, and oh boy, did he do a good job. He lived for corn on the cob, and if it wasn't there when we put him back into his house at night, he was not happy. I don't know what was for nostalgic reasons. That's just how the quote begins.
Right.
And it doesn't yet say who that's from. Oh, it's just the organization. That's just a quote that they've put out. So the organizations which look after up to 400 birds a year said Thomas proved there was life after sight for elderly fowl. You were a true inspiration for the work we do and the things we are able to achieve for the animals in our care, it said. You were such a special boy and a wonderful character. Thomas, our good friend, we miss you wholeheartedly, but may you rest in peace. Thomas will be buried next to Henry at the place they called home, following a public... following a public ceremony later this month. Which was back in 2000 and whatever. I got confused about the names there, and I thought that the goose had died, and then afterwards we were going on with the story of the male black swan, but no, that was the goose was the one who was left behind and then went blind after trying to father some chicks who were stolen by another goose. God.
Poor lad.
It's like a soap opera.
It is.
The bird watchers all hop along each weekend to see what he's been up to this week and how many new kids he's got. Yeah, be right, Hoot. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, crikey. Well, are there any comments down here? No one's left any comments. No one has anything to say.
Leave one now.
Yeah, I could leave one. I'll have to log in.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, it says commenting on this article has ended.
No.
He's not allowed to comment on it anymore. Might have to find the original published version, perhaps, to see what people thought. But there you go. That's a story from a few years ago now of the blind bisexual goose. Oh,
Beautiful. Him. Carries on in our hearts. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you, B, for sending that in.
Thank you, B. And lastly, we will move on to my thing, if you don't mind.
Of course, mind.
I want to talk a little bit about a Japanese TV show from 20 odd years ago, maybe even more now, which I've always been loosely aware of, but never really dug any details into. I've seen pictures of it, little clips, but I thought, why not actually find out what the heck was going on in this weird TV show? So today, I'm going to be reading an article from tofugu.com called Nasubi, the Naked Eggplant Man Who Lived Off Sweepstakes. Does that ring any bells for either of you?
Not at all.
Nasubi. Well, this is a man who featured in a Japanese TV game show for quite a long time, and the aim of the TV show is basically you're stuck in this room until you can win enough prize money from like magazines, like competition entries. If you can win enough stuff to win plane tickets out of here, then you can leave. And so what followed was like a year and a half of him every day filling in thousands of forms and trying to win anything he could. Here is a still from the TV show just to give you some visuals.
Oh my God.
Eggplant Man.
He looks unwell. He's so skinny.
I know, yeah. Well, we'll get into it all.
Okay.
He survived. Don't worry, this isn't a sad one. This is a good one.
Okay.
This is from Nathaniel Edwards. Japan can call itself an innovator in the reality TV game show world. The success of these shows and others has, however, given Japan a reputation for televised cruelty. From 1998 to 2000 a show called Susunu Denpai Shonen took up that role and tried to take it just a few steps further. On the show, you could see two men try to escape from a secluded island with one of those swan paddle boats stolen from BonBon Land. And you could see a Chinese comedian hitchhike from South Africa to Norway. And in its most famous feature, you could see Prize Contest Life, starring a man named Nasubi. So this segment gathered a large roster of amateur comedians looking for a way to break into national television and give them their big break, potentially. And so in place of a normal audition where people come in, crack a few jokes, and they choose their favourite out of a lot of them, instead they just did a lottery where all the people who wanted to join put their name into a hat and they chose a person at random from that list. And out the hat came a lanky Fukushima. A lanky Fukushima-born comedian named Nasubi, or Eggplant, after his long, oddly shaped head. Was the lucky winner.
It's not that odd.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll send some more pictures through. He definitely can make himself look more eggplanty when he wants to, put it that way.
Okay. A real aubergine fella.
And so he won the lottery and immediately was taken to a car and blindfolded by the TV show's producers.
Immediately.
He opens the letter, they break through the door, get him in the van, and away he goes. And when the blindfold came off, he was in a small apartment room. Behind the camera, the show producer told him to take off his clothes, all of them, and hand them over. Only then, he is naked and stranded. Nasubi is told what the show's premise is. And the premise is, can a man live on winning sweepstakes alone? He laughed, and the door was shut. And so it began. And so, this TV show basically revolved around this one man in like an apartment kind of entertaining himself as much as he can.
Why did they have to strip him naked at the beginning? That just seems...
He could win new clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Part of the fun. Let's see what clothes he gets. Well,
Okay.
obviously they haven't locked him in a room with just his naked self and nothing else. So they've furnished his room with some lovely delights, such as a shower, a radio, a telephone, a gas burner, a sink, a large rack of magazines for finding competitions, a giant stack of postcards for entering the competitions, a small table, and a single cushion. And that was it. That was all that was in the room. It sounds like a lot, but that's basically what you need to survive.
Single cushion.
The single cushion. Besides those things, he had to win everything he needed in a prize contest. And he would be released after he had won 1,000,000 yen, or about $10,000 worth of prizes. So, like, the prizes, if you didn't want the prize, you could take an alternative cash prize instead. And so the value was deemed off of the cash prize. And that's how he'd get to $10,000. But it's proved tricky because a lot of the things he won were so low value that they didn't have a cash alternative. So it helped him progress along, not even in the slightest. And this room was laid with microphones and cameras. And so every week, an edited summary of this man's experience would appear on Denpai Shonen for like 8 to 10 minutes a week over the next 15 months.
Oh.
A dark comedy segment about a life spent writing letters, roughly 1,400 a week, and answering the door to the potential prizes. Oh boy. And so yeah, every episode kind of starts the same. Wakes up, tells the camera what day it is, and then he just starts writing these letters. And throughout the show, he receives a series of delivered prizes, which range from life-saving to totally worthless. In the very first episode of the show, he answers the door to a ramen delivery. And he gets very excited before the postman realizes it was sent to the wrong address and takes it back with him.
Oh, no.
Poor guy. A taunting moment for someone who ostensibly has no food for the first 2 weeks. However, it's safe to assume that the producers were giving him little tidbits and scraps off to the side so he wasn't starving. Eventually, he finally wins a big bag of rice. But he has no pot to cook it in, of course.
Oh, God.
And so he kind of experiments eating the rice raw, kind of gets sick of that. And eventually he kind of fashions a gas, like uses his gas burner and functions a pot out of just some kind of packaging he had lying around, and eventually was able to cook the rice. And well done.
God.
Good, this poor man.
Jesus.
And so, yeah, the comedy of the show, it says, mostly comes from the prizes Nasubi wins that do absolutely nothing to improve his desperate situation. Famously, in one of the first episodes, he wins a bicycle, which sounds nice, lovely. And then, yeah, the prize very just suddenly sends him into a depression because what use is a bicycle in a tiny apartment?
Is there no cash prize for a bicycle?
I think maybe he got the cash. I think he gets the prizes, but, you know, he also gets the cash prize alternative maybe, but I'm not entirely sure how it works. But he ended up with a bicycle in his apartment, which I think he sat on once or twice and pedaled, and then he just sat at the back of the room for the entire rest of the show untouched.
Oh, man. I mean, you know, if you're stuck in an apartment and you run out of competitions to enter that day, then it might be good to just get a little bit of exercise.
Yeah, why not?
Lie on your back with the bike in the air and pedal it.
There you go. I should lock you
Take
in
a
a
wheel
room.
off or something.
You could entertain yourself for years.
Just be happy is what we're saying.
Yeah,
really.
just win. Just win loads of money.
Yeah, it's easy.
Easy.
There was some good prizes in there, which actually proved useful to him. He's in one episode. He's extremely excited to win a television. Ooh! And he plugs it in and realizes there's no antenna or cable in the apartment, and so every channel is just static. Months and months later, he wins a VCR machine and 2 VHS tapes. Months later. So yeah, he got some tapes, and then he won a PlayStation 1.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
What year was this set again?
I think it was like 98, 99 maybe.
If he's using VCRs, yeah, God, that's a huge prize.
Did he get a game with it?
He got Train Simulator Densha D Go.
Rather have nothing at all.
I think if you've been locked in a room, the ability to pretend to drive a train looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And so when he gets his console, he plays it for 3 days straight before realizing that it is taking up too much time from his letter writing, and so he shelves it. It's like, yeah.
My real passion.
Yeah, this is fun, but also the more I play the console, the slower I am to escape from this hellhole.
So when you say that his prize is, when he wins enough money, he is then released.
Yeah.
His prize isn't just his freedom, is it? Because surely at any point he could say, I give up. Or is it so that he can get his break on TV?
I think it's so that he can get his break on TV. I think he wants to stick with it because I think at the end it kind of ends in the TV studio and he's like, everyone's like, yeah, cheering him on. So I think it's like, it's for glory at that point.
So that's what's in it for him.
Yes.
Other than being let out, which would be illegal if they wouldn't let him out. But,
He's almost certainly being compensated as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got to have a house somewhere or a flat.
He's being looked after. And so, yeah, one of his first goals when he entered the room, remember, naked, he said, I'm going to win some clothes. So that when he did eventually go on TV, he wouldn't make his debut fully nude. So he applied to win an apron in the first episode, but he did not win that apron, nor did he ever really win any serious article of clothing throughout the entire run. He wins a pair of lingerie panties early on and some formal shoes, but that's about it from the clothing department. Bless him.
God.
So he's going to look like someone's MMO character.
Yeah, having to go out in just a pair of panties and some shoes.
Dear. And they say he goes a year without wearing clothes, and so every segment, every clip of the show is bits of pixelated and covered with a cartoon eggplant,
right.
which was extra fun during a 24-hour live stream broadcast where a team of people had to manually drag and track his bits with an eggplant live on air.
Wow.
Has the has Wilkins always been associated with eggplant / aubergine? Because I know it's obviously a huge thing now with the
as an emoji,
and stuff. So could this have been one of the first examples of it being censored with that?
I was thinking so. That, in the 90s.
Yeah, because it's only around modern days because of iPhone. So yeah, I think this dude, he did it first.
Trailblazer.
Yeah, boy. And there's a picture of him in his room with his magazine stack.
Wow.
God.
It looks feral.
He does. He looks. Yeah, he's not having fun. So Nasubi was finally given his clothes back on day 335, and so he tried them on, decided they felt weird, and so took them all back off and kept them off for the rest of the show. So he was committing to the bit now.
Because he's not worn any in a year, almost.
Yeah, but it was this day, almost a year from starting, that Nasubi won a small bag of rice, which pushed him over the threshold, and he could leave. Yay!
Hooray!
Until the producers gave him one last surprise. He was flown to Korea, and then the competition continued, weirdly, where he was told to, from Korea, win his airfare back home to Japan. So he had to win like another couple of £100. He was flown to Korea. And yeah, so the trick here, though, is he was flown here expecting to resume the task. But no, this room was actually built into the middle of a large studio. And as he entered the room, blindfold off, he's told to take all his clothes off. And the second all his clothes were off, the four walls collapsed and revealed him to a studio audience.
That's such a Japanese game show thing to do.
How on earth has he not left the room? I refuse to believe that he's not left the room in a year.
I think it's heavily implied there was some help here. Maybe I don't think he spent 15 months, but for the sake of it, let's pretend he did.
Right.
We can. Let me see if I can find. I can't find the exact video, but there is a picture of his face after all four of the walls fall down, revealing him naked in front of a studio audience.
Oh, God.
A little bit upset.
The poor man.
Oh, dear. And so, yeah, that's the end of the show. And so you'd think maybe putting himself through this would propel him to fame, like he hoped so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I looked him up on Wikipedia, and I think one of the show on Wikipedia, and Nasubi was described as being a comedian that gained a modicum of fame via the show.
Oh no!
Right. I hope it was worth it.
I think he became a little bit of a local legend, like where he lived. But then after that, he's not done a lot. Some charity stuff. He's climbing mountains and stuff, but maybe not the comedy route he wanted. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? And that.
I hope he was remunerated fairly for his time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he got to keep all the prizes, all his many bags of rice and bikes.
Yes, his bicycle, his TV.
And that.
It's really funny because, like, in Japan, you know, there's sort of the stereotype is that it's a very, like, polite society, and you have to be respectful of other people, and, you know, it can be quite a sort of a modest culture, or at least they censor things a lot. You know, there's quite heavily, like, video games that come out in the rest of the world sometimes have to be heavily censored to get out in Japan. And yet this is the same country that, like, on their reality shows and game shows, like, brutally humiliate people. We've all seen various clips of people, you know, I've seen multiple clips of people ending up naked in front of crowds, or, you know, being, like, tarred and feathered, you know, all kinds of crazy things. And oh wow, that's a good photo you've sent there.
So I've just sent a picture of him naked in front of the studio crowd.
God.
Yeah.
Japan's a weird. It's
strange mix.
Yeah, I don't know.
The great and the good.
There's a weird, obviously, I guess internet clips you see are skewed, but I feel like I've seen a lot of men's bottoms on Japanese TV shows.
Yeah.
It's because it's funny. Bottoms are funny.
Bottoms and
Bottoms
farts.
are funny.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the story of Nasubi. I hope he's doing okay now.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, me too. Absolutely. Well, I believe thus concludes all of our things for this week.
Yeah.
It does indeed.
Thank you very much, Mikey.
You're welcome.
For running through those for us. There's a few things we need to talk about before we go. Please don't go anywhere just yet.
No,
Michael Johnson, I believe there's some kind of shop.
You're goddamn right. If you head over to vidiotsofficial.com and tap on that lovely, enticing little shop button, you will be greeted with a veritable bounty.
Veritable gown.
A veritable bounty.
Oh, of goodies. A bounty of goodies. We got t-shirts, we got hats, we got stickers, we got mugs, we got cap, we got hoodie, we got it all. So come on down, vidiotsofficial.com and click on shop. Thank you all.
Absolutely. We are on Instagram and TikTok at vidiots.official. Make sure you go there for little bits and pieces that you can interact with. Clipiots get uploaded there as well. I believe the next episode we will be sourcing some quickfire questions for, I think it's my turn to do that as a thing. So go to at vidiots.official on Instagram and TikTok to get involved with those. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all.com/VidiotOfficial. Our Discord is vidiotsofficial.com/Discord. Thank you to Tommy and Fleckers for modding us there. We appreciate it. And twitch.tv/VidiotsOfficial is where we live stream occasionally. I do have the date of the next live stream that we are probably maybe going to do. I'm just trying to find it. It's a little while from now. The 27th of July.
Ooh,
Add that to your calendars. I intend to stream on that Saturday, 27th of July. Join me if you can.
Brilliant.
But that's still not all. Podiots.com. If you go there, donate £3 or more, you join Pod Squad. You get a shout out on the next episode of Podiots. We're going to run through them again now. Michael Johnson.
The Generous, Caroline, it's Dr. Chegwin. Caroline, I booked Pontins. Donak 07, Stephen Skodes, Frogley, Harry Brotovich in Oslo, Swinging Hotel Experience, Freddie Weber's Pube Dreads, and Seagull Boy is back.
We've also got DBP's Nuts, Torso Evans, Pizzeria, Prince Beefcakes, All Inclusive Triple Hump, Sonic the Chegg-Hog, or Chedgehog maybe, Gay Frankincense Ant, Mr. Macca, and Anonymous.
And finally, we have Ben Pottery Shopping Centre, the Chegwinfinity Gauntlet, Cat Dealey Doing Wheelies, Noel's House Arrest, Chegma, Is It Gay to Eat Vegan Sausage, She Make My Tibetan Mastiff, Chuckle Bros Glory Hole, and Dave's Wilson Filled It. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Podiots.com, £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the next episode of Podiots and join Pod Squad. Thank you. Thank you. Peter, what's out on Vidiots 6 years ago this week?
Well, I'll tell you. It begins with Skyrim Zoo, Chapter 13, An Icy Excursion. There was Sunday Fundy, where we played You're in the Movies. That might be the one where we all wore a T-shirt together. I'm not sure.
Cute.
Memory cards for May the 28th. I've just noticed during this episode of Podiots that Podiots episode 7, which came out several years ago, is called Craving McNuggies, but there is a typo on the video upload. So it's Craving McNuggies. So I'm going to leave that as it is
that
forever.
not intentional, though? I feel like that might have been
maybe.
a reference to something.
That's the meme, right?
Is that how it's spelled in the meme?
It has to be.
It might be, yeah. Hang on, let me look at the thumbnail. Is it the same typo? Oh, it is. I didn't realise that that's how it's spelled in the meme. Very good. Craving McNuggies. Post from Tap 15, name redundant. Worst games ever game selection for the 31st of May. Becoming Apes, Crisis on the Planet of the Apes VR.
That's when Mikey masturbated his way across the climbing section.
Yes, very inventive, but not suitable for the video, said the game developers.
Yeah, we were told to take that out of the brand deal, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had Worst Games Ever, Sonic 06, Thorpe Park's The Walking Dead, Living Nightmare, Extreme something, ... versus 3 Vidiots, it says. Sunday Funday UFC Sudden Impact featuring MMA on Point. Memory cards for the 4th of June. Post from Tat number 16, the one where they're all drunk. That's a classic.
Yes.
The Tiny Peter Dancing Compilation.mpeg.wma.mp4.
Yes.
Tony Hawk's Random Control Scheme Challenge for Piece of Cake. And finally, I believe, yes, on the 8th of June was the Thorpe Park vlog. We lost Billy again.
Oh, no.
No.
Whoops. Michael Johnson, where are you on the internet, please?
At Paraboy on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram is the best place to keep up with me these days. Thank you.
Sorry, it's me again, isn't it? And
Yep.
Peter, where are we?
We are
Just disassociated for a second there.
That's all right. We're at Team Triple Jump together, where we're still hanging out with Rules Boss and Billy Ray Walrus, playing bad games, making bad food. But you can also find us separately at confused_dude and at that Peter Austin on Twitter.
Absolutely. And why not leave us a 5-star review on your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms. And we'd really appreciate it. If you're not in a position to donate, that's totally fine. But this is free and it takes just a few seconds. And it will genuinely help, I believe. Maybe. We're not entirely sure. Is there a final question that you guys would like to ask before we disappear? Until next time.
What do you think should be at Coniots?
Very good.
Good question. Wonderful. Well, look after yourselves, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye!
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.